Sports City, chefs, Sports City, chefs. Yeah. Cavi, Taj.
What's going on, Sports City? It's your boy Sirius, back at the helm with another edition of Finger Foods, an exclusive here on Sports City Chefs, the network, and SportsCityChefs.com. As I customly say before we get started, if you're not currently a subscriber, I would definitely urge you guys to become a subscriber. Hit that post notification and that bell and get notified every time we post. We are also on a plethora of different social media platforms, such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So if you enjoy the content that we bring you on a regular basis on the radio, I would definitely urge you guys to jump over to our social media platforms and interact with us. These thoughts and these feelings are those of my own and do not represent the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Pittsburgh Steelers, or Sports City Chefs as a company. I shoot from the hip, I pull no punches, and I definitely spare no feelings. I wanted to get into what took place in the stadium on Sunday as the Pittsburgh Steelers got a much-needed victory, beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 20-18. And I want to believe that they listened to what I had to say last week, because a lot of my frustration and a lot of the frustration that Pittsburgh Steelers fans have expressed and showed, it looks like they listened and was able to somewhat eradicate these mistakes. But before I get into what took place in the stadium, I definitely wanted to once again compartmentalize my thoughts and go down the ladder, if you will, from the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good, there's a lot to talk about that happened good in the stadium outside of us getting a win, and I'm going to spend a good portion of the time today speaking on that. First and foremost, I love the plan that our coaches put together. That's including Matt Canada. If you've been listening to me over the course of this season, you would have definitely heard me on numerous occasions beg for Matt Canada to lose his job as offensive coordinator, as well as be far away from any type of play calling responsibilities as it pertains to the Pittsburgh Steelers. The plan that was put together on Sunday was one that I can definitely get on board with. It seemed like we were able to move the ball with fluidity. It seems like we were able to get in and out of plays, and it looks like that Kenny Pickett and the offensive line and the backs and receivers were confident and prepared. The first 15 netted us a touchdown on the first drive, something we haven't done dating back 2 seasons ago when Big Ben was our quarterback. So I tip my cap to Matt Canada and the offense for being able to put together a winning formula, put together a plan to get us in the end zone the first time we had the football. Mike Tomlin, Brian Flores, Daryl Austin, I challenged you guys last week from a defensive standpoint, and the cliche, our backs against the wall, was definitely on display on Sunday based off of the laundry list of injuries that we had out the game. To hold Tom Brady and that offense to 18 points, with them not scoring a touchdown, if you will, until the late moments of that fourth quarter, was very, 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 very special. I kept waiting, essentially, as I watched the game, for the other shoe to drop, if you will. I didn't believe, essentially, what I was watching. Again, no TJ Watt. We were able to generate pressure. No Cam Sutton. No Witherspoon. We was able to essentially keep the wide receivers of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in check. no Minka Fitzpatrick. And we was able to, again, keep the Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receivers in check. And I think a lot of that had to do with scheme. Mike Tomlin in his Tuesday press conference, and actually after the game on Sunday, mentioned the fact that they had to, quote, dress it up, if you will, and disguise some things and make things simpler for the young ones to go into the stadium and play with cohesion and fluidity. I don't want to say let's keep that going, but I like the fact that we were able to get off the field on third downs. We won the weighty downs, if you will. When the field got narrow, especially on goal line and short yardage and things of that nature, we won those more than we lost those. So my defense did very, very well. Offensively, to close that ball game out with the football is something we haven't done in quite a while. And again, I can go back to multiple seasons where we actually took the air out of the football and didn't give it back to our opponent. I don't know if that's something that was a mind shift. I hope that's something that could be built on, as we press on, getting ready for the Miami Dolphins this week and the Eagles the week after that. But I love ending games in victory formation. I love the fact that we literally stood in the face of adversity on both offensive and defensive side of the football and didn't blink. For Mitchell Trubisky to come in and finish that ball game in the manner in which he did was spectacular. I mean, these were not check down throws that he made. These weren't little third down and ones and things of that nature. We had some 3rd and 8+ that he converted on that final drive to Pickens and to Claypool that, awarded us the ability to take the air out of the football and get out of that stadium with a much needed win. So again, I tip my cap to all coaches involved for figuring out what was needed to get out of that stadium the way we did. I wanted to talk about Chase Claypool, George Pickens, Deontay Johnson. Again, if you've listened to me at any length of time during this season, I have dragged all of you. Okay, and I make no apologies about it. You were playing below the line. Thus, the reason why you got dragged. I can't say nothing today as I record this. You went out there and balled out. Chase Claypool, welcome back to the party. We haven't seen you since seen that Chase Claypool since we drafted you. I'm not too sure if you got word that you were listed in trade rumors or you listened to some music at practice or you ate an extra bowl of Wheaties or whatever during the course of that week. But I tip my cap to you, sir. You really balled out and came through for your team. You were the only wide receiver as I record this to record a touchdown this year. The only one. Gun to head, if you would have had me, make a bet on who would score the first, receiver touchdown of the 2022 Pittsburgh Steelers season, I wouldn't be sitting here today because I didn't have you picked. So I tip my cap to you, sir. George Pickens, man, again, just making plays when your number's called, sir. I appreciate your efforts and everything that you did in the stadium on Sunday to help us get out of that thing with a win. Deontay Johnson, once again, big-time catches, being there for your team. I saw you maneuver the ball, a lot on some jet sweep action, and I didn't see any drops from you this week. So, again, I commend you for that. The quarterback position, both Kenny and Mitch, like I said, They did well. They protected the football. We didn't turn the ball over. Again, I'm appreciative of the efforts. Offensive line. Again, I spent a lot of time dragging you guys, and I tip my cap to you all. For the most part, outside of Dotson, which I'll get to in a minute, you all played very, very well. Again, the running game wasn't what I expected, but that's to be expected playing a defensive front like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But again, the quarterback was kept clean primarily. Both men were able to survey the field, especially on third down, and gave them enough time to find an open target, and the ball was on time. It was where it needed to be. And again, I think that's a tribute to our offensive line. Defensive line, again, I tip my cap to you guys, Big Cam Hayward, Lattimore, and company. Again, you played Tom Brady. You know, Leonard Fournette is a big man. I still have visions of him shoveling a guy as a member of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And again, he's a very difficult man to bring to the turf. And again, on third down and 4th and 1, my defensive line was able to generate pressure. Only rushing 4. They had a couple of 3rd and 4th and goal to go situations, and we were able to shrink the pocket, get off the field on third downs, holding them to field goals and or punts. And again, I commend my defensive line for that, as well as my secondary for being able to, again, hold up in coverage. Mike Evans, like I alluded to, excuse me, is no small man. Chris Godwin, he's no small man. You know, these are Pro Bowl caliber receivers that routinely make the trip to the All-Star game every summer. Every winter. So for us to be able to hold these guys off and to battle and to win these weighty moments, as Mike Tomlin calls it, was spectacular. So again, I tip my cap to them gentlemen. Steve Sims, I think we found your place, sir. You know, I commend you for being able to flip the field. That kickoff return that you started off the second half with, I think was a real catalyst and a real springboard for us to at least get some points coming out of the locker room to start that third quarter. I saw you also play some wide receiver snaps. I definitely appreciate your efforts in that regard. Thank you so much. You know, again, we're going into a Miami venue. I need that to continue. The bad, if you will, would have to be Dotson, my offensive lineman. Sir, you are bad. Very, very bad. Those of you guys that know me know I speak to my father during the half and at the end of every Steelers game. He's the only one I speak to. And he and I had a very open and candid discussion about Dotson. And I said these very words, and my dad said, "Oh my goodness, is it that bad?" I said, Dotson is on par with Kendrick Green. And if you're still a fan, you understand the weight of that statement. I don't want him dressing up again in a Steelers uniform. I saw way too much over the first 6 weeks of this year to, he's going to get somebody killed because he can't hold his own. The trade deadline is vastly approaching. I know there are offensive linemen that are looking for new homes. I know there are offensive guards and offensive tackles that are looking for new homes. I really do hope that we use our energies in that facet to get both men off my squad. because they're really not going to help us at all. And honestly, that's really all of the bad that I have. The ugly, if you will. Again, I praise my defense for being able to stand up in the weighty moments. And this is just me nitpicking. I do think that they tackled very, very well. However, I really would have loved to have them turn the ball over a little bit. So I guess the ugly, if you will, was the lack of turnovers. But again, that's just me nitpicking. We turn our attention to the Miami Dolphins. And for me, this is a road game on prime time on Sunday Night Football. The last time we was on prime time in front of our peers and family and friends, we did not show well. I do expect a different result. Right now, all signs look like Tua Tagovailoa is going to be playing on Sunday. And we all understand what he means to that outfit and to that bunch. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Mike Gesicki, or household names, if you will. Right now, Tyreek Hill leads all receivers across the whole National Football League in yards. He is an all-situation type of guy. He's a guy who I've watched grow up in this league and whose resume and his accolades and his talent speak for themselves. Jalen Waddle, again, I saw him when he got drafted coming out of Alabama. That guy's good. That guy's very, very good. So we got our hands full. You know, all signs look like we're going to get a couple of our secondary guys back, so that'll definitely help us in being able to contain these men. We're probably not going to stop them, but we should be able to contain them in their venue. Defensively, like Mike Tomlin said on Sunday, they're a 4-3 blitzing bunch. They get off tackles. They ride into the football. They have a all-pro corner and Howard who can match up with the opponent's number one. I like what I've seen from him. I kind of wished, especially last year when he was talking about potentially wanting to trade, I was wishing, hoping, praying that we would go out and get this guy. Unfortunately, we have to see him in a stadium on the opposite side on Sunday. But honestly, for me, and again, I'm going to sound like Mike Tomlin here, these are really nameless great faces, if you will. This is really about us and what we have to do and can do to secure victory in a hostile environment. You know, the situation that we're in, we put ourselves there. You know, we are a 2-4 bunch, so we have to work like hell to dig ourselves out of it. And I expect us to really roll our sleeves up and go to war and get ourselves back to some level of respectability as we play the Miami Dolphins this week. With that being said, God bless. I wish you all the best. I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Sports City, chefs, Sports City, chefs, yeah. Cabby, Taj.